tonight's game will not change the conference standings for either team, you can rest assured that both coaches have imparted upon their teams the fact that tonight's game is very important.
No doubt about it. SMU wants to get back on track. Central Arkansas wants to keep some momentum going forward and acquit themselves well against one of the better teams in the nation. SMU did drop out of the top 25 today, by the way, after their loss to Syracuse. And right now, number 29 in the RPI. And certainly, it's not a foregone conclusion at this point in the season that SMU is a shoo-in for postseason opportunities for the NCAA tournament. They're certainly good enough to be there, Steve, and I'm expecting them to be there. But at the same time, you got to close the season out well.
You do, and that's both the benefit and the challenge of playing in the best soccer conference in the country. You can go toe-to-toe with a terrific team basically every single night out. And if you get some good results out of that, out through that schedule, well, boy, then you are battle-tested and raring to go when the NCAA tournament rolls around. The drawback, of course, is every team you see is pretty darn good, and every team in this league is capable of knocking you off. So, yes, I expect the Mustangs to get to the postseason as well. But they've got to go through Boston College, Stanford, and Virginia. Nothing like easing into the final stretch, huh?
Yeah, Stanford up to number 2 in the poll today. Virginia is up to number 9. And so those are rough games over the course of the end of the season, plus the Boston College match on Saturday. Quick restart for SMU, and Jalen Mitchell marching up the left side, the junior wingback for SMU. Quick move, leaves it behind him. Now looks for somewhere to go with it. Mitchell still dancing, and on the line, throws it all the way across. Ryan Clinton Pimentel will race it down on the wingback on the other side. Inside, and a whipped header is a little bit wide by Mukisa Emmanuel. And Emmanuel rarely misses the frame of the goal. 8th in the nation in shot on goal percentage at .625.
You see the long cross by Mitchell tracked down by Clinton Pimentel, and you're absolutely right. Emmanuel climbed the ladder a little bit quicker than the defender, got his head on it, and you're right, they don't all go in, but he often gets them on frame, and the Bears obviously very grateful that that one was touched just a little bit wide of the left goalpost.
The keeper for Central Arkansas is Merrick Cook. He's got roots in California, but also in Blooming Grove, Texas, which is about an hour south of Dallas as well. Played at CSUN for the last 3 seasons, transferred in, and he has taken the gig from Javier Ramirez here late in the season. And the Bears like his constant communication out of the back and also his comfort playing out of the back as well.
Yeah, he's been a very solid starter since taking over that role.
Clinton Pimentel trying to cross it back in. It comes right back at him. He stays on it. Clinton Pimentel back onto the left foot. Feeds it outside for Alex Salvo wearing the captain's armband. Just about 3.5 minutes gone in the match. Escorcia back off to Salvo. SMU thought they would have a good chunk of the ball today against Central Arkansas, although the Bears have been pretty much a home run hitting team over the last few seasons. They're a team that tried to go over the top of you. This year they're trying to play through you a little bit more, but SMU is still one of the better possession teams in the nation.
Yeah, in years past, you're absolutely right. This game has really represented a contrast in styles. But like you said, the Bears trying to play a little more possession. I don't think they'll match up to the Mustangs in terms of how much time they will be on the ball, but they are certainly prioritizing that more than they have in years past.
Jalen Mitchell marching in again, feigns, good stop on it, crossover, pops it into the air in the area of 5'6" Danny Escorcia. He saw it just skim over the top of him, and it does go out for a corner kick, and SMU gets the first opportunity at a set piece in this match.
This is twice now that Jalen Mitchell has gotten past a defender on the left flank and really just sort of corkscrewed him into the ground by changing direction back and forth to create separation. The Bears are going to have their hands full with him and may make some adjustments to try to contain him on the left side.
Scorsia handoff to Charles Emile Brunet. That twisting liner in, and the volley is rocketed just a little bit wide by Jalen Mitchell. He did well to nearly find the frame, and there is no way Merritt Cook would have been able to save that.
No, volleys are kind of a cool shot in the sense that they're very difficult to time, and you see him catching it just as it's almost on the ground. And if you hit it right, man, it is an absolute bomb, which obviously you want to get on goal. And you're right, very few keepers would have had a chance at that. But by picking it out of the air like that, if you mishit the ball, even by an inch or a fraction of an inch, it's easy to get it off target because you're hitting it so hard, so fast.
Jalen Mitchell still searching for his first goal of the season. He does lead the team in expected threat this season. Measure of how well he does at passing the ball and dribbling the ball into more advantageous places on the pitch to score. Central Arkansas with a chance, and that liner by Atia is knocked away, and here comes Mukisa Emmanuel. Pulled back a little bit, but it's a play on. Great ball for Jalen Mitchell. Mitchell tries to hop to it, and Merritt Cook comes over in perfect timing to slide onto it and eliminate the chance.
You know, and the fact that Jalen Mitchell doesn't have a goal yet, I think is also a reflection of the fact that he is a very high priority for opposing teams building their defensive game plans when they face SMU. You talk to coaches who are getting ready to face the Mustangs, and you ask them about what players concern them or what matchups concern them, and they usually don't get very far down the list before they mention the name Jalen Mitchell.
Central Arkansas, Mateo Francoul, one of their better players in the central midfield, tried to send it inside. Now he pops it back out for Joseph Mwamba. Mwamba into the 18, and that ball is off of the head of Jonathan Sorto and deflected in the direction of Martin Dominguez. Dominguez with the good numbers in his sixth start this season. 2-1-2 with the goals against average of .8, stopping 71% of his shots so far this season. Just underway in Dallas. SMU thought about trying to go over the top. Bilal Landsberg instead pulls it back. And on the switch, they get it to Clanton Pimentel. Feeds it middle, down to Mukisa Emmanuel. Tried the overlapping run on the pass to Clanton Pimentel, but it's behind him. And a chance for Central Arkansas to get right back up the field. Here's Vaslav Kozny all the way across, and the header ends up going wide. A great ball in the direction of Jonathan Sorto, and Sorto's just a little bit wide on that excellent feed by Kozny.
You're right. This is an absolutely gorgeous serve, and Sorto gets there. You see Martin Dominguez coming out, and his job is to just try to get as big as possible, right, and cut off the angle. He comes rushing out, throws a leg up in the air, and Sorto tried to come back across the mouth of the goal because Dominguez was closing so quickly, and so he ended up sending it just wide, but a gorgeous serve.
Central Arkansas struggling to score some this year. They do have 7 goals in their last 2 matches. Starting to put some things together. 0-6-2 away from Conway this season. All 3 of their wins have been at home. Danny Escorcia is able to overtake it in the corner. And Escorcia, so tough to deal with, onto his right foot, slots it outside for Milton Lopez, and now Mitchell. SMU has all 10 field men pinching beyond the midfield stripe. Now here's Mitchell. Swings it down to Danny Escorcia, and on his one touch, it is denied by Lucas Shearer, and a chance to start a break the other way for Francoul. SMU players fall down. And here goes Central Arkansas. Richards into the box, looking to slot it back post, and Devontae Richards just misses a little bit wide. That is the speed of Devontae Richards, and an excellent build-up for the Bears.
Right, and if you want perspective on the speed, the guy marking him, Enzo Pinozzo, he can really run too, and Richards ran right past Pinozzo. Now granted, Pinozzo looked like he had maybe downshifted a gear as he was going to use the end line as a little extra defensive help, but we talked in the pregame, and we'll probably talk for the remaining 75 minutes of this game, 80 minutes of this game, about Devontae Richards has so many physical gifts, not the least of which is track star speed.
Excellent play to challenge by Lucas Schur, who did not play in this match last season. 3 matches into last year, the Bear, the transfer from Robert Morris, found out that he had lymphoma, and he was battling cancer at this point last year. Went through the full treatment, rejoined the team over the summer, and has played a huge role this season for Central Arkansas. In fact, more minutes than any other player on the team as their full-time right outside back.
Right, and when we were talking to Coach Sagabart in the lead-up to this game, he was talking about how over the summer Shearer was getting fitness back and getting some games in and just trying to, sort of get his lungs back. And so to come back and not only play, but end up leading your team in minutes after everything he's been through, he's one of those guys you absolutely cannot help but cheer for.
An absolute culture setter for Central Arkansas, an example of resilience, especially in a season where Central Arkansas did not start the year the way they wanted to. They were winless through their first 6 matches of the season. Now starting to turn the tide a little bit as they've gone into conference play. They are 3-1-1 over their last 5. Resilience, very big right now for Central Arkansas. And just pointing to Lucas Shearer on the field, it's got to be a motivating factor for his UCA teammates all season.
Yeah, and he was really a motivating boost for his teammates last year as well. And as Coach said, imagine telling a college student, 20, 21 years old, you've got cancer, you've got to go through all this treatment and radiation and everything. And then he flew to the conference tournament to be there with his team. And if you are one of the other players on the team and you're tired or you're worried about, playing time or getting your homework done or whatever it is, and you see this guy show up, boy, he is a lift for everybody involved with the UCA team.
No doubt about it. Just one of the best stories in college soccer this year, the return of Lucas Shearer. Mustangs back with possession. Slow build. 92nd percentile in possession time this season, according to First Team Analytics. This SMU team at 91 percentile in number of passes. They'll share it on you. Nice move by Clanton Pimentel to get on the right foot, and his cross is deflected out and over the byline for the second corner of the night.
So what we've seen through this first 12, 13 minutes is that the UCA outside backs have their hands full with Clanton Pimentel on the right side and Jalen Mitchell on the left. Both of them on multiple occasions already have been able to cross up the defender trying to mark them and get toward the corner, get toward the end line to get crosses into the middle. That is a formula that will create chances and will absolutely require the Bears to make some defensive adjustments.
Good job to play it out to trouble by Central Arkansas. SMU and head coach Kevin Hudson kind of lamenting the fact that they had not scored on a play like that this year, as they nearly scored on that one. Mukisa Emmanuel got a header down from Slade Starnes in a perfect opportunity, skims it along the ground, and Merritt Cook able to make the save.
Yeah, you see the cross from Escorcia gets popped back out, and Emmanuel really hit that as a short hop. I think it hit the ground just before he struck the ball. And nice job by Merritt Cook, who was obviously alert and ready. Now, it was generally at him, but still, to get down on the ground and swallow that ball up without giving up a rebound off of a really hard shot by Emmanuel. Nice play by Cook.
You see how the fortunes have changed. Once he got in goal, 3-1-1 with the 1-6 goals against average, stopping 80% of the shots. That's outstanding, with the shutout as well for Merrick Cook, and he makes another solid stop here on a hot shot from Mukisa Emmanuel. Charles Emile Brunet against some former teammates, able to take it away in the central midfield, and then Daniel Escorcia is taken to the ground for a foul. Quick restart for SMU. We're back to live action. Jalen Mitchell attracting a couple. And here's Lopez opening himself up, trying to slot a ball in. Shearer knocks it away, and then it's turned away by Kozini Francu. And then back off to Devontae Richards, tries to slide it up the field.
You mentioned Brunet. When we talked to Kevin Hudson before the game, we asked him, what's this game like for Brunet? Because obviously he's got a bunch of friends on both sides. So is it a matter of, is he nervous? Is he excited? Is he, what are his emotions? And Coach Hudson said, oh yeah, he's sort of all of those things. And so when the players were out at midfield for the national anthem, and then they go through the handshake, I was watching Brunet. There was no familiarity, no hugs, no, hey, good to see you. Now, there may very well be some of that after the game because Coach Segobard said, look, Brunet is still good friends with a bunch of the guys on the Bears roster. They do stay in touch. But for number 8, that is left for after the game when he can exchange pleasantries with his old teammates.
Yeah, no time for pleasantries for the 90 minutes of this match as Richards went down next to contact from Slade Starnes.
You can be friends before and friends after. But during the game, for 90 minutes, those guys are wearing the other jersey.
Nice ball by Pimentel. Plays it to himself up the wall. Clanton Pimentel in wide space once again. Able to get it into the attacking third for SMU. The 17th minute now, and scoreless between the Mustangs and Central Arkansas. The 9th all-time meeting between the two. SMU has owned the series. They're perfect, 8-0. Last year, Central Arkansas losers 1-0 here at SMU and really gave the Mustangs a fright late in that match. Martin Dominguez had to make 5 saves in that match to keep it a clean sheet and come up with the shutout a season ago.
We talked a moment ago about how the Bears may want to make some defensive adjustments to handle Jalen Mitchell and Ryan Clanton Pimentel out in the flanks. Well, just a moment ago, Mitchell gets the ball, drives toward the box on the left side. He's stood up by Lucas Shearer, and Devontae Richards came back about 40 yards to help out. They were double-teaming Mitchell on this left flank, and we'll watch to see if they continue doing that or if that's just a once-in-a-while formula. But they are well aware that number 7 is causing problems, and they're going to make adjustments to deal with him.
Landsberg joining and handing off to Mitchell. Right now he's wide enough where he's only singled up. Mitchell all the way into the box past Shearer, slots it across. Escorcia couldn't handle it, and it's cleared away. It just hopped up on Danny Escorcia. Otherwise, there is about 3/4 of the goal wide open, yawning at Danny Escorcia.
And that play was really made by Omar Atia, who was in Escorcia's back pocket, and as the ball got there, I don't know if he was able to lift Escorcia's shooting foot, but it was just a slightly uneven touch on that ball, and as you said, there was a huge chunk of space in the goal.
Oh my goodness, and again, there goes Jalen Mitchell. It's kept in by Slade Starnes. But racing to it is Devontae Richards, and we get a chance to see his sprinter speed before he loses it. Devontae Richards has caps with the Barbados national team and goals with that team as well. Originally from Bridgetown, Barbados, did his JUCO work at Feather River College. Thanks to the junior college ruling in the offseason, had an extra year of eligibility to use, decided to use it at UCA. The ball down for Emmanuel, throws it out front, and Escorcia plays it on to Mitchell. Mitchell in the box, dancing, flicks it, and Merrick Cook is there yet again, lining it up to perfection as SMU gets another shot on the keeper.
Part of what makes, here you see the cross to the outside to Mitchell, and part of what makes him dangerous is not just how hard he shoots or how fast he runs, but how quickly he gets his shot away. You saw him with one quick touch with the outside of his right foot. That gave him about a half a step beside the defender in front of him, and that was enough room to get the ball through. Fortunately for the Bears, Cook was there waiting for it.
Now, there was just one window to shoot it through, and Merrick Cook was standing on the other end of that window. If you're joining us late, again, Central Arkansas playing without 2 starters. Pietro Fontana, the Italian forward, has 23 goals in his career, but he's sitting on 4 yellow cards. And they did not want to risk him picking up his 5th before some very important games here in the regular season. They've got Bellarmine, they've got Queens and Lipscomb coming up. And also UCA without their normal starting left center back in Alex Kiss, graduate and Columbus Crew Academy player, also on those 4 yellows. SMU nearly able to intercept, but Francu able to get it right back. Out wide, Richards against Landsberg, and Landsberg very quickly to it and able to snipe it away from the talented outside player in Devontae Richards.
Terrific play by Landsberg to stand up such a dangerous player with speed and a cannon of a shot. And again, when he's going at a defender 1v1, he can really get a defender back on his heels. Nice job by Landsberg to pull that one out.
And last year, Richards, a problem for SMU. The 5 saves that Martin Dominguez had to make, 3 of them were on shots by Richards. Central Arkansas looking for something. Good hold-up play up top. Shearer moves it, or rather, it's Cosini moving it along to Atia. Lifts it back in the direction of Matsudo. And on the switch, Mwamba driving in. It's blocked away by Slade Starnes. He's back to his feet. Another drive is deflected away and out. And last touched by the purple and gray.
Couple of the Bears, including Michael Oliveri, lobbying for a corner kick instead, suggesting that it had been played off the Mustang, one of the Mustangs. But he wasn't complaining very hard. So I think he was, trying to sell the idea, but he knew it wasn't true.
Matteo Francu unleashing that shot. Happy late birthday to Matteo, who turned 24 on Sunday. Calming presence in the midfield for Central Arkansas. Midway point of the first half, no scoring. UCA actually out shooting SMU 5-4, but nothing on frame as of yet for the Bears.
Yeah, the Bears, as you said, come in here a little bit shorthanded and know that they're playing one of the top teams in the country, and certainly not playing like that idea bothers them at all.
Mustangs a couple times appear to, from the flanks, have been able to break down Central Arkansas, but have not been able to connect and execute to score a goal. SMU's only been shut out twice in the last 3.5 seasons. One of those came against Syracuse on the road on Saturday. Good ball into Escorcia. Escorcia stops on it. Gives it back to Clinton Pimentel. SMU now looking for the switch. Charles Emile Brunet, the former Bear, lays it out to Vilas Landsberg and now Jalen Mitchell. A little bit of pressure from Central Arkansas. Salvo now does take the switch out to Clinton Pimentel.
Stay up! Stay up!
Great audio from our crew, Kyle Segabart, actively coaching up his defense as they play right in front of his bench, trying to make sure they keep their shape against this dangerous SMU team. Pimentel on a run. Escorcia doesn't feed it to him. Instead, back up front to Slade Starnes.
And the Bears have changed their shape a little bit. They've really dropped into more of a flat 5 across the back line. Originally it was 3 with a couple of wingbacks pushing forward. And probably because of the difficulty that Clinton Pimentel and Mitchell have created.
Here's some difficulty from Clinton Pimentel, and this drive well over the top for a goal kick. And again, Kyle Segabart will absolutely love that. Watch out. You got to watch out when you're down there.
Did it get her on the knee?
It did.
She didn't move, though. And she didn't drop her phone.
No, can't drop the phone. Never know it looking at Kevin Hudson, but it is a pretty nice night. About 80 degrees. Salvo able to take it away after the pressure by SMU. Merritt Cook had to get rid of it. Mustangs able to snipe it just across the midline. In center circle, there's Brunet. Charles Emile Brunet, 2 goals, 2 assists a season ago as part of the UCA Bears program. Part of this conference's all-freshman team. Landsberg taking up space.
Nice patience by the Mustangs, just switching fields back and forth. When you have a team that starts sitting in a lower defensive block like UCA is, it takes some patience to spread them out a little bit. And yes, that means throwing the ball back and forth across the field. But doing so, ideally, will stretch them out laterally and create some passing lanes.
SMU looking for that way to unlock this defense once more. Here's Mitchell. He's at the corner of the 18, but pushed on out by Mwamba. Now SMU will try to get the switch. Pinozo does move it along to Clinton Pimentel. Mustangs are ready to bring in a couple strikers. Central Arkansas ready to bring in 2 players as well. Escorcia trying to go vertically, and it's taken away by Lucas Shearer. Really good job by the defender, but Escorcia takes it back. Lopez is able to steal it away. Emmanuel back out front to Salvo, and SMU is able to keep possession.
Yeah, nice quick one touch from Salvo to get it over to Pinozo and really let the ball do the work, finding some open space and allow his teammates to regroup and build their attack.
It's Steve Lansdale and the whole crew here on the ACC network. I'm John Little. Great to have you with us on a Tuesday night. Non-conference soccer action. Mitchell wide against Shearer. Mitchell still on the dribble. Attracts 3. Pinozo is open. He gives it off to Clinton Pimentel. Staying so patient here in the first half. Clinton Pimentel in the middle this time. That pass is deflected right back at Charles Emile Brunet to back it up. And his heavy touch loses it to Central Arkansas, and the Bears ready to break out. Monte Richards vertically up the field, but it's taken right back by Charles Emile Brunet. Tried to look out right to Clinton Pimentel and gets it knocked back to midfield.
And he had the right idea. Clinton Pimentel was wide open on the right. The problem was Brunet brought the ball forward. He was one of 4 or 5 Mustangs.
Mitchell pops it across. A deflected ball out front. Emile Brunet turning. Still on it. Throws it out front. Salvo wasn't ready for it. Landsberg trying to save the day. And SMU gives away the possession.
I wasn't sure that didn't deflect off of one of the Bears as well.
Like it might have. But in any event, here's that substitution we teased. For Central Arkansas, Noah Bambali. Very dangerous freshman coming on for Devontae Richards. And also, Sordo is out. Oliveri is out. It's actually Richards that's going to stay here. And Luis Flores and Stephan Soghomonian on for Mukiso Emmanuel and Milton Lopez with 16 minutes left in the first half.
We've talked before about what a luxury it is for Kevin Hudson and the SMU coaching staff, who in years past have not always had more than one real striker who's a real threat. This year he's got 4, which...
Ball in the direction of Soghomonian. Soghomonian trying to turn and find it, and they'll just take the corner kick.
Having 4 with Soghomonian, Lopez, Milton, and Emmanuel, it's a great problem to have 4 weapons for 2 spaces, but it's also a headache for Coach Hudson and his staff because it's sort of like a jigsaw puzzle with the available minutes. You know, you've got to kind of ride the hot hand, but you also want to play them all to keep some fresh legs in there. And he has said it's been some tough decisions.
Emil Brunet inside, and Slade Starnes wins the battle in the air, but pops it over the top of the crossbar. And you don't have to go much further as we take a look at the replay here, Steve.
Yeah, you see, this is 3 times now they've gone with a very short corner, and that time it found the head of Slade Starnes, who's not only tall, but he's an exceptional header. He times everything well, he jumps well, and he really attacks the ball. He got his head on it, just missed, and from that range, it's easy to airmail one. If he'd been able to climb the ladder another couple of inches, that might have been very well on frame.
Now back to striker talk. You don't have to go much further than thinking about the match against Cal, where Stephan Soghomonian scored a hat trick off the bench and did so in just 44 minutes of work. And there's a corner coming up here for Central Arkansas that shows you the talent of Soghomonian coming off of the pine there. And that was the first thing he said in the postgame is, wow, hat trick in 44 minutes. Now, you'd love to be out there and, for 90 minutes of work, but, there's just too much quality to not allow everybody to play.
If you're a defender on the opposing team, and let's use today's starting lineup. So it's Emmanuel and Milton Lopez starting up front for the Mustangs. Somewhere along the line, there's a substitution, and you think, all right, at least the starters are out. Well, the problem is the guys coming in are really good, too.
Shearer out of the corner, a race for the ball after the initial hit, and on the cross, Keona is denied, and Vilat Landsberg is able to break out with it, looking for some help, trying to find Escorcia. Nice job by Devontae Richards to take it away, and there's some space out top for Noah Bombali, who comes in against Salvo. Bombali deflected by Salvo, his second block shot of the match.
Yeah, his second knockdown, at least within the last minute or so. He had one out on the flank that wasn't really a shot, it was more of a cross. But Salvo's one of those guys who almost never appears on the stat sheet, and Kevin Hudson and his staff wouldn't give him up for anything in the world. He covers a ton of miles around the field. He's on the ball, he makes smart passes, he sacrifices defensively. He is an incredibly valuable piece of this team, and there's a reason he wears that captain's armband.
Central Arkansas has proven to be a difficult team to break tonight. Allowing 6 shots, 3 have been on frame. Nothing threatening breaking this 0-0 tie so far. It's Mitchell, a lot of time. Out to Brunet. Brunet, point guard, chips it over the top in the direction of Flores, just too strong.
Point guard, was that an alley-oop? We talked about how
5'10" Flores, yes.
Yeah, right. We talked about how this is kind of weird to have a non-conference game like this tucked into the middle of the conference games on each team's schedule. Kevin Hudson was very open about the fact that this kind of game makes him nervous.
Mm-hmm.
You're playing a team that really has nothing to lose, right? And so it's a team that will take chances. It's a team that, as we've said, has some big-time athletes on this team, and that always can represent danger for opposition. And while, as we said before, the outcome of this game isn't going to affect either team's conference standings, you do want a good result. You're competitive. You want to win every time out on the field. And UCA is a team that very much concerns the SMU coaching staff, and not just because it happens to be the one on the schedule tonight.
When you think about a very similar mid-major matchup that SMU had earlier in the season against UIW, another team who had never been able to crack against SMU, and they picked up a 2-1 victory.
Exactly. It's a very, very similar game. You're right. Because for those teams, you come to Dallas. I mean, Washburn Soccer and Track Stadium is a very difficult place for visiting teams to pick up a win. And for a team like UIW or a team like UCA, if they can get out of here with a victory, what an enormous boost it is for their season. So these teams come in and they're playing with their hair on fire, and they're going to pull out all the stops in every way they can to try to get a result.
Deeper into the Central Arkansas bench with Oliver Barta, a sophomore forward, coming on, Nico Raman, a junior defender, and Garner Wolf, freshman midfielder, coming into the match. For SMU, they brought in Matthias Dick at an outside back position. And did so for Ryan Clanton Pimentel, and also Landon Hickam at a midfield spot. 10 minutes left in the first half. Landsberg called for the foul here, trying to pull it away from Noah Bambali. Couldn't do it cleanly. And a pretty good opportunity here for Central Arkansas. Free kick restart. Devontae Richards ready to get things started for the Bears.
A couple of the Mustangs were lobbying for a handball going the other way. And they were right, by the way. But that wasn't the one that was seen, and therefore that's not the whistle that was blown.
So Richards, the 6'4" senior, starts things, popping it into the 18, headed down. That second ball won by Flores, but into possession for the Bears. Chipped back in after the Bears got back on side, but a little bit strong. And SMU will have a chance to build out of the back with 9 minutes left in the opening half. Martin Dominguez and the Mustangs looking for a win at home. They are, by the way, if you're thinking about the ACC standings, and we always are, SMU going back into ACC play on Saturday. They are tied for 6th in the ACC right now with 8 points. There's just a gaggle of teams that they're within spitting distance of. Escorcia, vertical ball, Flores to catch up with it. Flag stays down, back to Brunet. Brunet slats it across, Soghomonian pops it in, and SMU builds quickly to go up 1-0 in Dallas.
Beautiful vertical ball to get through to Flores, and as you said, the flag stayed down, and you can see Flores even look up to see if there's a flag, and then nice pass by Brunet against his former team. He sees Soghomonian, almost a blind pass, drops it back, and look at the poise of Soghomonian. Stops the ball, looks up, picks a corner, tucks it in the lower left, puts the Mustangs up a goal.
Stephan Soghomonian, the poacher. Goal number 5 of the season. The latest SMU striker to reach that 5-goal threshold. There are 3 of them now. Emmanuel and Lopez have also hit that mark. Won't be reviewed either. The officials on the field, including our lead official, Kevin Morrison, feel very strongly that that was an legal play, that it was onside, and the SMU Mustangs go up 1-0. Just 8 minutes left in the first half. It's got to be a little demoralizing for the Bears after standing up so well for the better part of the first half.
Yeah, the Mustangs have sort of come at them in waves a little bit much of the first half has been played in front of the UCA goal, and you're right, the Bears have stood tall on the defensive end, and yes, they've sat into a pretty compact defensive structure, but they've absorbed a lot of shots from the Mustangs, so I think you're right, there's got to be some frustration. And to me, a part of that play, that the scoring play that may go unnoticed, is when Flores went running onto that long ball, it would have been very easy as a very talented left-footed shooter to wind up and try to just blast it through the back of the net. But he hit the brakes so quickly, defender ran right by him, and that's how he was able to find Brunet for the eventual assist.
A giveaway to Brunet. He punches it toward the goal. It's punched back out. Now here is Mitchell trying to float it off for Soghomonian. And it's knocked away for a corner kick. Charles Emile Brunet decided to pull the trigger that time, and Merrick Cook had to make a diving stab.
Yeah, Brunet not only has some pace on his shot, but he's able to bend the ball pretty nicely. He was trying to do that there. And then we talked a few moments ago about how Mitchell's still looking for his first goal of the year. The rebound came right out to him, and he took maybe one too many touches to try to set it up for a perfect shot. Maybe a quicker strike, he would have found a result.
Emile Brunet already has his second assist of the season just moments ago. See if SMU has this play on again, where Emile Brunet will be the fire starter. He does, getting out to Landsberg, driving, or rather Matthias Dick, driving it out from out front. And Dick skies it over everyone with 6 minutes left in the first half.
Over everyone, including everyone on the track behind the goal. That almost hit the parking garage on the fly behind the goal on the north end of the field.
Got sped up ever so slightly, and as you point out, a lot can so easily get underneath it from a point like that. As Slade Starnes so often does, he gets the easy winner in the air. Slade Starnes continues to climb the ranks for number of air duels won. He's now 10th in the country in number of air duels won. Oh, great win up the sideline by Jalen Mitchell. This is his stronger side, the right side. Mitchell shoulder charged off the ball. Soghomonian comes in to try to play it. And I think there was a hand. May have rolled up on Soghomonian. Either that or just a simple foul as Central Arkansas player ends up.
Yeah, the official raised one arm, sort of a chicken wing, suggesting maybe it was an elbow that came up.
Foul. Yep. That's Elijah Bishop, able to get back up.
Here you see Soghomonian come in. And boy, if there was an elbow, I didn't see it from either player.
Didn't see much at all.
Maybe you're right. Maybe it was a handball that we just missed.
Oh, long ball. A chance. Inside, Bambali. Bambali plays it up top. Nice job by Matthias Dick to roll it back to himself and get the partial clearance.
Think of the poise that takes. When you're 16 yards in front of your own goal, to pull the ball back and then flick it with a heel to one of your teammates behind you.
Outstanding.
When you really don't know how many players wearing those opposing jerseys are coming in behind you. It's a play that looks amazing when it works, and in this case, it worked for Matthias Dick.
Oliver Barta was lurking in the area and was the most dangerous player. Barta will take the corner now, and Dick wanted to make sure to keep it out of his wheelhouse. Barta trying the corner. It's short, and Soghomonian is there to clear it away sharply with 4 minutes left in the first half. Soghomonian has the goal from Flores and from Charles Emile Brunet against his former team. This could be dangerous here for SMU if they can get things started. That one went off the central referee as Kevin Morrison will stop play and allow SMU to get things restarted. Shots 9-6 in favor of SMU. 5 shots on goal for the Mustangs. Matthias Dick, great in wide service. Gets it back once and now twice. Now the Mustangs looking for the switch. Reynoso shoves it along to Jalen Mitchell. You see how he attracts that double team. So the Mustangs will try the other side here. Escorcia going out wide. Matthias Dick playing inside of him. Escorcia out to Emile Brunet. Charles trying to go down low. Flores flipped as he moved back inside. No foul given. Landsberg called for the foul.
Yeah, Flores sort of did a somersault here in midair and looked very surprised that no foul was called. And here you see Landsberg going up over the top of Richards. I got to admit, I kind of agree with Flores. You don't spin in that. You don't spin like that without somebody taking your feet out from under you.
We thought there was a free kick on the way. Nice play by Escorcia to get the Meg. Now the ball is switched across. Great ball skills to catch it out of the air by Jalen Mitchell. And he stays on it in a triple team. Mitchell trying to accelerate. Joining the play. Ball is kept in deeper by Hickam. Merritt Cook able to secure it right at the byline.
Jalen Mitchell, who started the game on the left and is now flipped over to the right side, has given these UCA outside backs all they want on both sides. I know we talked about how he doesn't have a goal yet, but let me tell you, there's a reason teams notice number 7 so quickly when they're scouting SMU.
Oh, dear. Here's Emil Brunet out to Escorcia. Has Dick on his left. Feeds it that way. Dick with the service inside. It's stopped down low by Soghomonian. Can he turn? No, he gives it to Emil Brunet. A deflected ball right on goal. Sharing is caring, and Stephan Soghomonian trying to get one to CEB to get a goal against his former team.
Yeah, Soghomonian very creative, and again, just like he was patient on his own goal, it pops through to him, steps around a defender, feeds Brunet, who, as you said, would love to put one on the board against his former team. And you see the frustration as his shot was initially deflected and ended up right in the hands of Merritt Cook.
SMU would love to be just a touch more clinical in those moments. There is no doubt the Mustangs have been threatening here in the first half, and that is 6 shots on frame. Still another 40 seconds to work with as Escorcia has a wide open Pinozo. Top of your screen, 30 seconds left in the half. "20 seconds now. Starnes picks the right side, and Mitchell with 15. Mitchell doubled up. An aggressive play to take it away, and now probably smart by the Bears just to get rid of it over the touchline to end the half. The SMU Mustangs spend most of the first half in the attacking third and have a goal to show for it against his former team, Charles Emil Brunet, the primary assist on the go-ahead goal from Stephan Soghomonian University as well. And now taking over the head job in Conway. Things starting to trend the right way. 3-1-1 in the last 5 matches for Central Arkansas, but a tough test here against a team that was in the top 25 as of yesterday. Fell out of it with the new coaches poll today. SMU also number 29 in the RPI entering the day as well. Central Arkansas just a strike away from tying things up here in Dallas. It is the 9th all-time meeting between the two teams. SMU is 8-0 all-time against the Bears.
We talked in the first half about the wonderful problem Kevin Hudson and his staff have with 4 very talented, capable strikers. And he's doing something now that he has done before, which is he brought in Stephan Soghomonian and Luis Flores partway through the first half. They played very well down the stretch, and he comes back at the beginning of the second half with the same 2 guys. If the combination's working, why change it?
Seems like that's been the rotation here of late, and it's worked out really well. Obviously, the hat trick for Soghomonian against Cal. Some threatening moments against Syracuse, although they didn't score. SMU heavy on possession tonight. Nice 1-2 to get it down to Escorcia. Feeds it inside. Soghomonian, the toe punch, knocked down by Brunet. Emil Brunet, it's off of the post. And squirting out to the corner, Matthias Dick can't quite keep it, but that close to a score against his former team.
Brunet showing off. We've seen him shoot with his right tonight, and now he rips one lefty and just drills the outside of the post. You were absolutely right when you were saying earlier that he's clearly hunting for a goal against his former team.
Just get that feeling he's going to get the opportunity tonight. They get a handball here against Emil Brunet. That little joust against Devontae Richards, his former teammate.
Love to have a microphone down there on Brunet because several teammates have been talking to him through the court, or former teammates have been talking to him throughout the course of the game, and you'd love to know what kind of chatter is going back and forth. Is it,
I'm
hey,
not sure
nice shot, and how do you like living in Dallas, or is it a little more intense than that?
Obviously, Charles Emil, great English speaker as well, but also speaks French. I don't know how many of his former teammates speak French, but they were an incredibly international roster at UCA as well.
Yeah.
The throw in. I mean, you got one guy in Omar Atia, the left back, who was born in Qatar, but lists his hometown as Cairo. As the ball gets into the box here, it never gets back out in front. Is it going to be a corner or a goal kick? It's going to be a goal kick. And he went to high school in Canada. So you've got three different, and now he's in college in Conway, Arkansas. So, and there are a lot of guys like that on this UCA roster. One of the guys that's not here today is Maxim Shinkov. Poor guy woke up sick today, wasn't going to be able to make the trip, but he's originally from Moscow, but grew up in Valencia, Spain. And again, just a multinational team and a lot of multinational guys as well.
How many languages do you think are spoken at practice or when these guys are watching video?
I'd like to think they just make up their own. Everybody get on the same page. 4 minutes gone in the second half. Enzo Pinozzo trying to go over the top in the direction of Clinton Pimentel, but it's sniped. SMU just so quick to the ball to pressure it, but foul coming on Danny Escorcia as he knocks over Central Arkansas's Jordan Gaona. By the way, we were talking about the Central Arkansas players that are both on 4 yellows, Alex Kiss and Pietro Fontana, and how they didn't make the trip today. SMU's Charles Emile Brunet is also on 4 yellows, but SMU is playing it a little bit differently with Brunet. Now, once you get to the postseason, so that would be the conference tournament, then you get a couple more yellows. You get up to 8 before you get suspended. If you hit the mark of 5 in the regular season, you miss a game. And right now, they feel like they're going to try to get Brunet through these last 4 games without picking up that 5th yellow.
Yeah, and it's a risky approach, right? Because he's a relentless chaser of the ball. He will do everything he can to try to steal it from you. And even if he doesn't, maliciously attack your ankle, he doesn't need to. All you need is the guy with the whistle to think he maliciously attacked you, and he could be looking at a card. Or he could be knocked off balance, and as he's flailing for balance, he may grab a fistful of your jersey and be viewed as having tugged too much from behind or something like that. So he's got to walk a bit of a tightrope for the next 4 games.
There may have been no one that was more disappointed that the UTRGV game was going to be canceled than Charles Emile Brunet. He could have taken his 5th against Cal, missed the UTRGV game, and then not quite been on a clean slate, but close to it for the rest of the regular season.
Right.
But he did not want to miss this matchup. He could have taken his 5th against Syracuse. He decided, he tried to, but wasn't able to. As Pinozzo is able to come up with a cross and get it out to Charles Emile Brunet. Out front to Salvo. Now the quick switch. Great ball outside and a quick one touched by Matthias Dick, and it is cleared away. So it's now at that do or die time for Charles Emile Brunet, where he's just going to have to be careful the rest of the way. So he's able to be ready to go for each of these big games down the regular season stretch, because he is a huge part of what SMU does in the midfield.
Right, and being careful is that you can't say that's asking him to change what he is, because he's certainly not a dirty player, but he is a relentless player who runs 90 minutes without slowing down at all. He's around the ball all the time, and all you need is for someone to cut in front of him at an awkward angle or something like that, and it could be perceived as a yellow. So you don't want to ask him to back off, because that limits what he is as a player, but you do need him to be careful, and he's a very smart player, and I'm sure he will be.
There have been several players who have been able to stay away from that 5th yellow for several games. Bailey Sparks comes to mind last year. He was stuck on 4 yellows late in the regular season, was able to play through it, make it to the postseason without missing any games. Here's Daniel Escorcia sliding it inside. Clinton Pimentel holding it up, throws it in front. Great work, trying to drop it off for Emile Brunet. Nothing but gray and purple jerseys there. SMU able to stay on the possession and get Martin Dominguez involved. once again, Central Arkansas very aware of number 8 in red tonight.
Obviously, the Bears' #1 goal tonight is to figure out a way to get an equalizer and, with any luck, get a go-ahead goal. And although they may not say it, my guess is their #2 goal is to keep Brunei off the scoreboard.
I would think so.
Publicly, they'll say, oh, we're rooting for him all day, every day. But you don't want to see the guy who transferred away come back and get a goal against you.
All it would take is one connection for Central Arkansas to get this game level. SMU has had a lot of chances tonight, but only able to hit once. It was the goal with 8 minutes left in the first half from Stephan Soghomonian. Lots of pressure here. Dominguez nearly gives it away, and almost able to hold it was Gaona. SMU is going to be able to break out. Soghomonian tried to play it all the way across. It doesn't quite get through to Matthias Dick. Otherwise, it would have been a very dangerous moment for the Mustangs.
Ball got sort of tied up underneath Soghomonian. You're right. He saw Matthias Dick over there, and if he'd been able to get it that far, Dick would have had a lot of open space between himself and Merritt Cook. But Soghomonian not quite able to get it all the way across the width of the field.
All time, the combined score in the 9 matchups now between SMU and Central Arkansas, 29-1. SMU has dominated the series, but again, last year it was a very tight match, 1-0. That game came at a very similar point in the season, October. The year before that, it was an early season game and SMU crushed UCA. Clinton Pimentel off the line, throws it in front. Soghomonian just the one touch, and that's all it takes. Back-to-back braces in consecutive home games for Stephan Soghomonian, who is on a scoring binge.
He is absolutely on a heater, and you see Clinton Pimentel, instead of going across the mouth of the goal, he sees number 30 trailing a little bit behind. Perfect pass by Clinton Pimentel here. And as you said, the one touch by Soghomonian into the lower left corner. You know, after he scored his hat trick, we asked Kevin Hudson, I don't remember how it was phrased, but, you know, are you surprised to see 3 goals out of Soghomonian coming in off the bench? And he just sort of shrugged and said, no, that's what he does. He just scores. Apparently Hudson knew what he was talking about.
Well, he spent time in the Bundesliga U17 to U19 when he would have been finishing up high school in California. Instead, went off to Germany, played against international competition. you know how good the Bundesliga is. And then came into Dallas, has a year under his belt, and now is just really starting to come into his own. And he's got this brash mentality, this confidence about him that he can accomplish anything on the field. And right now, he is absolutely in his bag.
Yeah, he one-times that one into the lower left corner and looked almost calm about doing it. And his first goal, there were bodies flying all around him, and he settled the ball, stopped, looked up, almost looked like he could have adjusted, tied his shoe, something like that. Just very calm and poised in the midst of a bunch of chaos. And your swagger comment is kind of right. He's so relaxed and so controlled, even in the midst of the mayhem that sometimes exists in front of a goal.
Vaslav Gozini is in to play a midfield spot for Central Arkansas as SMU has doubled up the lead. They also get another important midfielder in Mateo Francu. Again, Clinton Pimentel is in behind. One-touch cross. This time, it's a little bit strong. You can't take anything away from Clinton Pimentel. As you said, just an awesome pass. Just perfection to set up Soghomonian.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Clinton Pimentel, it's only his 2nd assist of the season. But if you looked at expected assists, which is one of those next-gen stats that's out there, He's up around 3 or 4. He should have more than the 1 that he came into the match with, and certainly it's going to be a huge factor as this season goes on.
Yeah, and his numbers, you said only his second assist, but for part of the season, he was a reserve coming in off the bench and, finding
He's just
his way.
barely over 200 minutes on the season now.
Right, exactly. So he was finding his way into a spot into the midfield rotation, but it seems like every time he's on the field, he's causing problems for the opposing defense, and he's creating chances for his own teammates. Certainly wouldn't suppose to sit here and tell Kevin Hudson and the Mustang staff how to mix their minutes. But Clinton Pimentel, to me, is a guy who's hard to take off the field.
He is, and now he's even more indispensable thanks to the tough injury sustained by fourth-year senior captain Owen Zarnik. And that's what really moved Clinton Pimentel into the starting lineup, making his 4th straight start here. By the way, Danny Escorcia also picking up an assist. He's got 5 on the season. That leads the team. Mustangs able to double up the lead thanks to a clinical effort in front of goal. Header forward by Francoul. Pinozo. I'm sure he meant to do that, but just gets rid of it.
Yeah, I'm going to suggest he mishit that one a little bit. I mean, yes, he's a big, strong guy who's certainly capable of launching the ball into touch, but he's also a very smart player and a very good passer. That was not a very Pinozo-like pass.
So you're starting to get into the point of the season, whether it be UCA or SMU. You can say this about both teams, where for where they are, they're both good teams. In mid-majors, Central Arkansas is a solid team.
Sure.
SMU is a solid team in the ACC. This is the point in the season where the year is going to go one or two ways. You're going to close out well. You're going to have some great moments. Maybe you don't win a national championship, but you're going to accomplish a bunch. Or it's going to be a disappointment. What are those determining factors? What are those winning plays you make in October that help determine what kind of season it's going to be?
Very tough question to answer.
Hey, that foul's going to give you a little bit of time to think about it. So I'd be grateful if I were you.
Well, part of what's going to determine how that goes is if you're SMU, you've still got to deal with Boston College and Virginia and Stanford, all of whom, each of which is more than capable of pulling off a win. As you see the foul here, as Soghomonian goes down hard and actually landed on the ball.
Back to live action, Clinton Pimentel all the way across. And Brunet outside the arc, circles over it, and then tries a drive that's deflected out for a corner for the Mustangs. And, is it more mental? Is it physical? Is it, just the ball bouncing your way?
It's
what
some of all of those, right?
Teams?
I mean, coaches talk all the time about how early season games, whether you win them or lose them or get a draw, they toughen you up, that they go to the iron sharpens iron theory or things like that. They toughen you up for the end of the season, and that's not just making sure that you're physically ready and you're in condition to make it through 90 minutes as you get into the middle or latter parts of October. That's also mental. That's also focus. That's also intensity, which most coaches will argue is every bit as important as all the miles these guys put in to get in incredible physical condition. The fact that they can run 90 minutes is one thing, but to run and be productive and make smart plays and remember the game plan and what your assignments are in this situation versus that situation, a lot of it is mental as well.
Pinozo leans in, and on the half volley, Danny Escorcia leans into one and rips it just wide. Escorcia really tried to hit that one with force and intent, and comes up just a little bit wide of goal for SMU. It is shot number 15 of the night. That
shot kind of rolled a little bit off the outside of his foot. Not that it looked like it, but you could see it by the way the ball faded off to the right. That was a result of the spin that he put on it by lunging forward to get that shot.
That's exactly what Central Arkansas wants, to switch to Richards, but as he tries to play it out in front, he is denied by Matthias Dick. And Rene is able to hold it and hit Escorcia with a pass. Escorcia loses it, however. Clinton Pimentel gets stuck in to take it away, and SMU counter back the other way. 28 minutes left in regulation, and the Mustangs with a 2-0 advantage. Escorcia, head up, deflected ball, Clinton Pimentel.
Mustangs doing a nice job of 1- and 2-touch passing, really letting the ball do the work. And it's one thing if you're on the opposition and you have to chase to try to get the ball away from your opponent, but to do so when there's 27 minutes left and you're down a pair, it just always feels like the ball's moving a little bit faster, and it gets a little more frustrating as you put in the miles trying to, stay in this game and compete for the first 70, 63 minutes, whatever we are into this one. Chasing the ball is tough. Chasing the ball while down a couple of goals is tougher.
No doubt. Letting the ball do the work, letting the clock do the work. As SMU looks for a home victory. Little touch by Salvo in the direction of Escorcia. Looks up, one touch on the cross. It gets through to Flores. Flores trying to drive in toward the byline and ends up with a corner kick.
That was one where Flores, a left-footed player, tried to cut it back with the outside of his left foot. If he were right-footed, he might have been able to get a shot away there.
SMU, pretty much every corner in this game, they've played it to Brunet, who has not taken the direct corner, but taken kind of a secondary corner. Mustangs have been looking to figure out a way to turn corner kicks into goals. They just haven't done that much this year. Instead, this one goes out to Clinton Pimentel. He rips it, deflected ball. I thought it was deflected, but instead it actually just curls off wide of the post for a goal kick. Let's take a look.
Yeah, the way this ball fades to the right, I'm with you. I thought it was deflected, but he had a little bit of an inside-out spin on it. And it doesn't take much when it's got that much power on it to make the ball curl off and tail away from the goal.
Clinton Pimentel, not a guy who looks for his shot very often. Did so there, aiming for that upper 90. Daniel Escorcia gets the takeaway against Francoun. Not easy to do whatsoever. 26 minutes left. SMU better run of play in this match. A 2-0 lead. Flores pressuring in. A nice pass up that right side to Shearer. And Shearer trying to get it forward to Richards, but Pinozo gets in between for a header to stop the progress. Soghomonian may have stepped on Mwamba. The play continues for UCA. Elijah Bishop trying to be offensively minded as that center back turns it back to Kaisei Matsuda. That's something they wanted Elijah Bishop this year to do a little bit more of, get involved offensively in the build. I'd love to see him add that now in his 4th year at UCA, his 3rd on the field.
Well, he's such a critically important part of what they do on the back line, but he's not just a positional defender. He has size, he has speed, he has some creativity with the ball. And so, yeah, if you're Coach Segabart, absolutely you want a player, one of your more talented players, to get involved in every aspect of the game that he can.
Bishop making his 43rd start tonight. Pinozo is there to head it away, but it is followed up on that second ball. Turned back by Barta. Barta double teamed, and Salvo able to stick with it as Barta tried to pull it back. Salvo takes it away. Central Arkansas pressures to take the ball right back. Finally, Pinozo has had enough, and he'll turn it up the field himself. Big collision at midfield, and it is a play on. There was Well, go ahead and stop it here. Flores colliding hard with Kaise Matsudo. Indispensable center back for the Bears.
Yeah, and you can see Matsudo quickly grabbing his right leg. It didn't look like the most malicious run by Flores there.
Matsudo, the best player Central Arkansas has in the air, 5'11". That is saying a lot, but he is absolutely excellent in the air, a technical player. Really grew as a player in the spring, and now he's been trusted in some big minutes, really is the fourth center back on this team, playing pretty much all the minutes at an center back spot tonight as Alex Kiss stayed back in Conway.
And Kiss's absence makes it critically important if the Bears are going to get back into this, that Matsudo, you see him trying to grimace his way through and walk this one off. Obviously, they want to keep him in every possible, if at all possible. And it looks like he is going to head to the sideline.
Well, as the game was stopped for him, he'll have to join Gloria Martinez and wait to check back in, and he does so. 24 minutes left in Dallas. Central Arkansas has been able to score one goal all time against SMU. They'd love to figure out their way to one or two tonight. Matsudo not quite able to connect that pass. It rolled all the way through, and Oliveri, the senior from Staten Island, just had it roll right past it.
We saw Brunet get the ball, turn around and look, and obviously he would still love a chance to get forward and try to get a chance, but he is well aware that the important part is getting the win here. So, and he's a very smart player. Goals and assists are gratifying, but winning is more so.
Clanton Pimentel, and that one knocked down. Clearance out to midfield, but no further, and Oliveri gets shouldered down. No foul given, and SMU stays on the attack. Charles Emile Brunet out to Soghomonian, playing more of a midfield spot right now. Clanton Pimentel to Soghomonian, nearly in behind, and that deflected ball is a throw for SMU.
Soghomonian was looking at the linesman. I'm guessing he was hoping for a corner there. And you've got Enzo Panozzo lined up to take this throw, and he's a big, strong guy who can really throw it a long way, but he's not going to match a corner as far as just the sheer distance.
A little bit of a shorter throw. It gets deflected by Salvo back in the direction of Soghomonian, who's looking for his second consecutive hat trick at home, and gets deflected up and over the goal. Soghomonian with that scissor kick look, and this one is a bad giveaway. Soghomonian looking for the hat trick and whizzes it past the upper 90 on the left side. As Elijah Bishop says, yeah, that one's on me.
Kevin Hudson says scoring, that's what he does. That's because shooting is what he does. If he's in the offensive third and gets to the ball, he is looking for the net first. And if not, he's certainly very capable of finding his teammates because he's also an exceptional passer.
His 2 goals tonight have him tied for the team lead. Just can't take the guy off the field right now. He's been so good as of late. No subs in the second half for SMU as of yet. Nice job by Matthias Dick to take it away, open up space for Estorcia. There's Clanton Pimentel. A lot of room on the right side. This one gets held up by Flores, tries to feed it back out to Salvo. He's stripped away, and Central Arkansas has a chance at a break. But a slide tackle is made bravely by Enzo Pinozo to stop the advancement as that ball was in the feet of Francoeur.
And it's so easy to look at Pinozo and see how strong he is and figure, all right, he can muscle guys around and be a very physical defender, and he can do those things. But talk to the SMU coaches about him. And the first thing they say is he is an exceptional positional defender. He's a very, very smart player who just happens to have the benefit of being often the biggest, strongest guy on the field.
And remember, he's a walk-on. Didn't get any playing time in his redshirt freshman year. In fact, Kevin Hudson will tell you he just didn't know if Pinozo was quite cut out for this level of soccer. But he just kept going and kept proving himself. And first as a closer at the end of games 3 years ago. Last year, a guy that was willing to do whatever it took, whether it be the center back spot or the striker position. And now, starting center back for the rest of the season for SMU and a full-time starter as a senior. What a great success story for the former walk-on. Outstanding pass in behind Oliveri, and Pinozo had to be perfect there to keep it away from the onrushing Sordo. And yes, it will be a corner, but Pinozo is able to be accurate with the feet to steer it along.
It's a very smart player, very vocal player back there. And you're right, he had to be perfect because he was awfully close to that left goalpost. And if you miss-hit it there, you've only got to miss-hit it by a little.
Shearer on the serve to the back post. Open man, and the header does sky up high. But Václav Koziny was only half marked on that back post. A really good serve by the cancer survivor, Lucas Shearer. Omar Atia, starting left back, comes back in for Central Arkansas. Oliveri will take a seat for the Bears as well. 18 minutes left in Dallas. I think Kevin Hudson must like the way that this 11 has congealed in the second half, because he continues to go with them, and we're at about 17 and a half minutes left now. Clanton Pimentel racing through traffic, a tip ball Flores, and it is taken away by Atia.
He's holding his jersey, man.
Ball for Soghomonian. Tries to drive it in, and the cross is blocked down. Salvo trying to steal it away, but he will be called for a foul. It's a good chance to take against Francoeur, but Soghomonian trying to create for others and looking for an assist there.
If you're one of the Bears defenders, it's got to almost feel like maybe the Mustangs have an extra player or two on the field, because it just feels like the SMU offense has been sort of coming at them in waves. And for much of the game, the Bears have been sitting back in a much lower defensive block. Well, now with 16 and a half minutes left and staring up at a 2-goal margin, that if the Bears have any hopes of getting back on the scoreboard and trying to find an equalizer, they can't sit that low. And if you're under siege, that's one thing, and it could be overwhelming. But if you're under siege and you're trailing, that's when it can feel even more magnified.
Bears under the microscope tonight. Always a big litmus test to go up against the SMU Mustangs. Job to hold it up by Soghomonian. Drop it off for Clanton Pimentel. Soghomonian's the one to take it over. Feeds it into Clanton Pimentel. Races to space, tries to cross it. But the weak bouncer doesn't get through to the back post where Matthias Dick was lurking.
Clanton Pimentel, I don't think that was a shot so much as just trying to get it in front of the net. But the way his momentum was carrying him away from the goal, I don't know if he even saw whether there was a red jersey there or not.
Now just try to put it in a spot. It's going to be difficult for the opponent. And a little bit of confusion as to exactly what's going on here. And eventually it is a foul that goes against Central Arkansas. And you can see how Kyle Segabart feels about this.
Well, for a moment, Coach Segabart and Coach Hudson were both looking at the official, expressing some sort of frustration with a call or a lack of a call.
I think that's fair.
And Charles-Emile Brunet just checked out, and you've got to wonder if with 15 minutes left, if he'll get another chance. But he can't. So his night against his former team is done.
And it was a really good night, too.
He played very well. You know he would love to have gotten a goal against his former team. But my guess is that if you ask him, as long as SMU has more goals on the scoreboard than their opponent, he's probably pretty good with it.
Oh, no doubt. Picked up his second assist of the year, had 3 shots, 2 of them on frame. Really nice game by Charles-Emile Brunet. Again, a takeaway by Clanton Pimentel. Has he been good tonight or what?
He's been everywhere. He's been...
And normally we notice him mostly on the ball, but, I mean, defensively he's been stuck in tonight too.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. We think of him as a creative offensive player getting up into the flank and creating chances, but he has backtracked a lot and helped with Pinoso and Starnes and the rest on the back line. He's put in a lot of mileage tonight and really earned his keep and played quite well. We talked earlier about how he's, with all the chances he creates, he's making it more and more difficult to take him off the field. Well, if he starts multiplying his contributions to the game by chipping in on both ends of the field like this, he's going to make it even more difficult.
Jalen Mitchell hands it off to Soghomonian. Back to Mitchell. Mitchell waiting for it to settle. Rips it back. Tries to throw it across. Slides down to the ground. Really with little help from the defenders. I think he just lost his footing. And a threatening moment for SMU comes to a halt. Jalen Mitchell will make your heart stop if he's in your box.
If you play defense, Jalen Mitchell is, I would think, the scariest player without a goal this year, maybe in the country.
Gotta be.
So many teams worry about number 7, and rightly so. Making it seem a little weird that he doesn't have a goal because he creates a ton of chances.
Last year, more of a midfield spot. This year playing out on the wing, the outside back position. And here's Mitchell. Lofting it in, looking back post. Clanton Pimentel, the one touch to try to center it, and it will be a corner kick. Soghomonian was lurking and ready to try to deposit the hat trick. Look at this.
Exactly. The serve comes across, and Clanton Pimentel was looking at one guy only, and that was Soghomonian, trying to tee him up for what could have been a second hat trick.
Thank goodness Kaisei Matsudo was there for Central Arkansas. It's going to be another dunk for Soghomonian. Flores will tee it up here. It'll be a more traditional type of corner opportunity for SMU.
There's some real congestion right around the PK spot.
Near post. Hickam keeps it in. SMU will have a throw with 11 minutes left. For the Mustangs, and again, Kevin Hudson talked about it with us before the match, that they just have not been scoring on their corner opportunities like they have the last few years. And a lot of that can be, put back on the fact that they don't have Kieran Pino anymore, and they don't have Bailey Sparks anymore. And those guys were otherworldly when it came to initiating those set pieces. For SMU at this point in the season, do you say, well, it's just something we're not very good at, or do you just keep chopping wood and hope that it breaks open?
Oh, you absolutely keep chopping wood, because Look, they've got a bunch of guys who can serve really nice balls. You're right. Pino could put it through a keyhole from about 50 yards away.
Watch out here. Clinton Pimentel has Mitchell all the way across. Ball gets deflected into the air. Soghomonian settles it down. Have you heard this before? It does get scooped up.
You've made that call before, huh?
I have. But, like you were saying, some great players last year on service.
Right, but
there
it's
are
not
some
like
great players
there aren't
this
any
year
left,
too.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about Clinton Pimentel. We've talked about Brunet. We've talked about Jalen Mitchell. We've talked about Salvo. We've talked about Escorcia. All these guys who can serve a really nice ball. And then it's not like you don't have targets, right? Slade Starnes is a big dude who can go climb the ladder and get his head on some balls. Flores, Mookie Emmanuel, Enzo Pinozzo. So, yes, to answer your question, you keep chopping wood. You keep working at it because the players with the ability to convert those set pieces into goals are there. But, there's a reason that it's tough to score in soccer because the other guys are good too. They defend awfully hard, and they do, and they know what to defend, right?
Absolutely.
If you're defending against SMU on a corner kick, I'm guessing you will go put a body on Slade Starnes or Enzo Pinozzo or, these guys who are big, tall guys who can get up in the air, who have shown that they're strong in the air. So it's not easy, but yeah, you keep chopping.
Kaise Matsudo trying to work out that cramp, get a little help from the athletic training staff at Central Arkansas. There's athletic training staff for men's soccer led by Jonathan Hull. And it looks like Hull's making the motion that there will likely be a change at that position as Matsudo's down for the second time. It's a comfortable night, but a warm night. And there's been a lot of running this evening. Just a couple days from now on Saturday, Central Arkansas will be on the road to take on Bellarmine and try to go to 2-0 against Bellarmine this season. After that, their final home game in the regular season, taking on Queens, a team that's jumping up from Division II to Division I in the A-Sun, and then going to Lipscomb.
And we've got substitutions now for the Mustangs as well as Mookie Emmanuel and Milton Lopez come in. So if you're defending and you've been chasing Soghomonian and Flores around all afternoon or all half, and now you got to see these two guys come in with fresh legs with 10 minutes left, enjoy.
Yeah, you probably don't want one of your center backs to be playing with a cramp.
No, absolutely not.
The UCA will have to bring in a new center back now in Omar Say. Say the 5'11", 173-pound freshman, be one of the three central defenders who have to deal with those two outstanding scorers who have combined to deposit 11 goals in the net this season, 5 for Mukisa Emmanuel and 6 for Milton Lopez.
And you talked a moment ago about the cramp, even though it's warm but not hot, and it's really kind of a beautiful evening, and how they've put in a lot of miles. But when you think about it, compare this to the game in, let's say, the last week of August, when it's 103 degrees at kickoff. And sure, all these guys train year-round, and they're in tremendous shape, but there's a difference between going out and running some miles to get ready for the season compared to being out on the field and playing and sprinting and all that. It's amazing that more and more players don't drop down with cramps. You see it in August and September, but it's amazing that almost everyone doesn't do it, considering what these guys put their bodies through.
It's amazing broadcasters don't come up with cramps. That's what I think. Here's Hickam to take the corner that Noah Irvin helped create. Oh, the header by Pinozzo, and he just missed. Pinozzo absolutely unmarked as he skied in from the top of the box and whipped his blonde head at it. as SMU is looking to go up by 3.
Didn't someone say recently that Enzo Pinozzo is a big, strong guy who can get up in the air and can be a viable target on set pieces?
I think so. We should pay that guy more money.
I agree.
Oh, SMU absolutely buzzing right now. And somehow Central Arkansas able to get out of their own end. Nice job by Merritt Cook to keep his cool. Long vertical ball. Slade Starnes holding up Noah Bombali. It's a great matchup. And the Bears end up with possession with 8 minutes left. Richards drops it off. Finds Bishop on the switch here. Bishop into the central midfield to Francoux. A little touch out wide. On the ground and taken away by SMU's Hickam. And Mitchell will let it roll away off of a Bear player. So for SMU, it appears to be a get-right type of night after taking the frustrating 2-0 loss in Syracuse on Saturday. A game where SMU in some ways outplayed Syracuse, but certainly not when it mattered. Weren't very clinical defensively, and that bit the Mustangs. But tonight, they have been able to connect over and over again. It has been a dangerous evening if you find yourself in purple and gray. Here's a dangerous player in Milton Lopez out front, unmarked, and Mitchell tries to hit the cherry picker. Comes up just a little bit short.
It's hard enough to hit a still ball, but to hit one that's rolling, and when it's rolling to you like that, it's easy for your eyes to get really big and think, oh, I'm going to drill this through the back of the net. And it didn't look like he overshot it. He didn't wind up and try to kill it. But if you get under it just a tiny bit and the ball is rolling at you, it rolls up your foot or up your ankle and then goes airborne like the one we just saw.
Good hustle by Urban. You saw the differential, the shots overall and then shots on goal. And in the second half, Central Arkansas has only had 1 shot as a team in total. SMU shored some things up at the half to keep themselves in possession more and became an even more dangerous team in the second half. Only 1 more goal to show for it, but it has been a clinical assault this evening for the Mustangs. Hickam holding it up in the corner. Little heel kick back to Escorcia. Flying across, he goes after goal, and it's punched away by Merritt Cook for a corner. Thankfully, Cook was looking for the shot as well as the corner. Otherwise, it's 3-0.
Really kind of a bomb from the corner there by Escorcia. Makes you wonder whether he's looking for a teammate or if he's just looking for a deflection, hoping that ball hits Cook and maybe bounces in.
Cook has stood strong. Again, Hickam. And SMU had a player offside. Mukisa Emmanuel, member of the Ugandan under-20 team. Now 21. Well-rounded and complete striker. Would love to be member of the Ugandan national team one day. Certainly has shown himself to be a multi-talented striker for SMU this season. Stone scoreless in 3 straight matches. Poised for a breakout late in conference play. SMU will be back at home on Saturday on ACC Network Extra. And it will be quite a treat for you because you will not have either one of us on the call that night. So those of you, you can stop sending in your letters. Urban with a good cross over the drive, and it's headed away.
I was going to say, you can stop sending letters and you don't need to reach for the mute button. Nice cross dribble there by Urban. shaking a defender, getting loose with a left-footed shot.
Okay.
10-3. Wow. Corner kicks well in favor of SMU. Salvo, the sidewinding drive. Hickam trying to keep it in, but the ball had crossed over the byline before Hickam made contact.
You were right a moment ago when you talked about Merritt Cook having stood strong. This is one of those games where you kind of feel for the goalie. You know, he's looking up at a 2-goal deficit, and anyone who's ever played goalie knows that every goal feels awful, and whether you had any chance at it or not doesn't matter. He deserves better. He's played very well tonight.
He's made every save he could have made.
Absolutely.
And this one is just outside the box. Lopez gets there, drifts it in toward that near post. And thankfully for the Bears, nobody was home for SMU to continue the play.
You don't see Danny Escorcia go up and win a lot of 50-50 head balls at 5'6".
Not off.
But he got his feet taken out from under him, or his body taken out, and certainly nothing intentional there. But he did look up at the official like, come on, I was going to get that one.
He did. I give him a win. Escorcia, a lot of space. Two minutes left in Dallas. Dominant effort tonight for the SMU Mustangs. Although for UCA, if their desire was to come in and play as well as they possibly could, I think for most of the night, they did that against a team that's just more skillful than their program is at this point. They held up fairly well.
Yeah, especially when you consider they're without 2 of their starting players. Now, granted, SMU's not fully healthy either, but for UCA coming to Dallas against a team like SMU and to do it without all of your weapons is a very, very tall order, and I'd say the Bears have acquitted themselves quite well.
Emmanuel, that started just a tick too fast, trying to time his run in behind, and the pass from Irvin was just a tick late.
We've talked about it before with Emmanuel that he's so fast that one of the hazards is if you hit the jets right away, it can look like you left early if you leave a defender in your wake, and he has done that. And it's not just on this play.
Emmanuel dancing, trying to drive it, and off the double deflection, it is a goal kick. Good call. It was a really good call there, as it definitely went off of Emmanuel after it went off of Bishop.
Bishop's another one who I think has played very, very well in the center of that Central Arkansas defense tonight. He's been a little bit under siege as the Bears have all night, and he's also played quite well this evening.
Dominant effort by the team from Dallas. SMU moves to 9-0 all-time against Central Arkansas. The Mustangs take the game 2-0 over Central Arkansas. SMU moves to 6-3-3 on the season.
Kevin Hudson.